Hi, I'm Marilyn San Clemente of Stamp with Marilyn, and welcome to my Creative Playground. And what I thought I would show you tonight is a cute little Elfie card that is 3D. So I don't know if you figured out or not, but Elfie is my favorite Christmas set this year. And very, very cute. And what I really like about this card is this is a 3D diorama. And it kind of moves. And I've done these cards before. I did it last year with the Beautiful You stamp set. I don't remember if I did it online or not, but what tonight is I will go through and show you how to make this because it's very, very cute. And so what I have done is I have taken some crumb cake cardstock. I have cut it at 6.5 by 4 1/4. So I cut it down the center at 4 1/4, and then I cut the length to 6.5, and now I'm going to score one side at 1/2 inch, and I have my new cutter. Okay, I'm going to score one side at 1/2 inch and at 1 inch, and I'm going to do the same for the other piece as well. And one of the things that I really like about this cutter is it holds the paper really well. It actually, when you are using the cutter, the blade locks in place, so your paper is not moving around, which I think will give people a better result in terms of cutting. You won't get the cuts that aren't straight and all that. So I do really like the new cutter, and it just went on sale November 1st. So if you're in the market for a cutter, and it is much, much easier to use. It just, the blades are like butter, work like butter on the paper. There's no fighting with paper like there was with the other cutter at times. Okay, so now what I have done is I have my two pieces of crumb cake cardstock that are 6.5 by 4 1/4. I have scored at 1/2 inch and 1 inch, and now I'm going to do a Z, what I call a Z fold. Okay, and where did there it is, bone folder. That would help me, because that will help this card move a little bit better when I'm done. And the reason why this is called a Z fold is because when you do this fold, it makes a Z. Oh, it's an upside down Z. But anyway, it makes a Z. So you want a Z on one side of each piece. So let me score that one. And so now I have my two Z-fold pieces. And what I'm going to do is, this is going to attach like this. So you're going to flip one piece over and they will attach like this, and then that's what gives you that kind of give and lets you do some of the pop-up type of stuff on this. But before we do that, we want to cut the frame out. Here's our card. I will put that right there. So we want to cut this frame out because it would be really hard to cut it out if we've glued it together. So what I'm going to do is, on this piece, I am going to attach a piece on here. And, whoops. Okay, so that's going to be my background. So the trees are going to be my background for the little elves playing in the snow. Piece is going to go this way, like this, to make it the 3D, to make the diorama piece. So what you're going to do with this, I'm going to try and pull this up a little bit closer. Okay, you're going to work with this top bar on your cutter, and as you can tell, there is a ruler along that top bar. And so what we want is to make a window, and we want this part to be 5/8 of an inch, which is just a tad over 1/2 inch. 1/2 inch is 4/8, so we want this to be 5/8. So what we're going to do is put this in. We're going to line this up at 5/8, which is right there. And then we're going to start up here at 5/8. And we're going to come down. So that would be 1/4, 1/2. Okay, like this. come down our first side, and then we're going to line this side up at 5/8, and we're going to go down all our sides. And once you've made that first cut, that kind of gives you a little bit of a guideline. So for when you're coming down and you're on the side that has the fold, you want to be 5/8 inch from the fold, not from the end, because this is the piece of how it's going to attach together. So, okay, and again, you want to line the fold up. So when you're on the side with the fold, you line the fold up instead of the piece. There we go. And now, oops, 5/8. There we go. Okay. Okay, and now what I'm going to do is take my scissors and finish cutting this to get the, okay, and on this side, oops, there we go, and then again on this side. There we go. And so we have this extra little piece of crumb cake cardstock. So now we have the front part, or the frame, of our diorama. So the next piece is we're going to take my favorite tear and tape, and I think I can, oops, going too far the wrong way, sorry. There we go. Okay, so now I have my tear and tape, and what's great about this is it does tear. And so what I want to do, it's going to go this way. Okay, so I want to put a piece of tear and tape on here, on this tab that we made here. And then I'm going to put a piece of tear and tape on this piece here. So the two pieces that are going to connect together, we're going to put the piece of tear and tape. There we go. Okay. And so now I'm just going to peel off. And then what I'm going to do is line these two up carefully. Okay. So it's going to be like this. And I did that upside down. Okay. Hopefully that comes off easily. No. Oh no. Okay. Okay, so let's start with this side. So we're going to line up this side. See, demonstrators aren't perfect either. And I can't tell you how many times it takes me, or how long it takes me, to actually design a brand new card from scratch without using a sketch or borrowing someone else's idea and then changing it a little bit. Okay, so that's that piece. So now what I'm going to do is I will fix this. And it's a good thing we're going to cover this with some designer paper. So now I'm going to add another piece of tear and tape. So it takes me a long time, and inevitably, and in fact, when I have made cards with all of you on Facebook Lives, if I'm starting from scratch and I haven't made the card before, after I'm finished, I will go back and change the card, because I will see things that I didn't necessarily like, because what's in your head isn't necessarily what looks good on the card. And then after you finish making it, you're like, oh, I wish I had done this, or I had put this here, or, and I'll show you an example of that in a few minutes after we finish this example. Okay, so now I'm going to line this guy back up again. There we go. Okay, and there's our fold. So now we're going to hide this with designer paper. There's always a way to hide mistakes. Well, not always. 97% of the time there's a way to hide mistakes. So I have cut 1/2-inch strips of designer paper. And I'm going to put obviously one right here. You know that if you rub, if you have extra glue on, you can rub, and the heat from your finger will eventually cause the glue to kind of ball up, and then you can just brush it off. Okay, so now we have our little diorama. Oops, and I forgot this one. Okay. Okay, so we'll put our fast fuse on that, and we'll line that up. There we go. Okay, so now the framework for our diorama is complete. What we can do is start adding our little L's to the inside. So what I have done, I just wanted to show you how I made the snow. I have a couple of pieces left from the last time I was doing this. And then I have all my little L's that I stamped. Okay. And so what I did for the snow was I have this piece. This is a 1-inch piece of the sparkle glimmer paper. And what I'm going to do is just start kind of a little bit above the center, and I'm just going to leisurely cut some snowdrifts. So you just want to go up and down casually. You don't want to do any sharp turns, so you want it to look like a snowdrift. And actually from one piece you get two. So we can put this on here. Cut that. There we go. Okay. So I'm just going to put that on. And I also want to do the same thing on the inside, but what I'm going to do on the inside is I'm going to use some shorter pieces. You have to kind of work that. So I'm going to work up a little bit so that it shows there. And then what we can do is add another piece here. Okay. So what I'm going to do then is overlap this here so it's multiple pieces. And then I'll cut this okay, so that the second piece doesn't show. I'll put those two pieces together. So this is some glitter paper, glimmer paper, I call it glitter paper, that I had and I was using for words like Merry and Merry Christmas and Happy New Year and Happy Birthday. So what I do is when I'm cutting words, I use that double-sided Sizzix sticky strip on the back. And okay, so now I need to cut this about right here. And then that makes it very easy to apply the words because, as you know, those words are very narrow and it can get tricky when you are applying them with glue because you get glue on your project and then it's all shiny where the glue was and it's just, I don't know, gets to be a mess. So, okay, so I'm going to do that, a diorama with my snow, and I want to put a snowman on it. The last time you can see that I used the snowman paper as the background, but what I thought I'd do this time is put one of these cute little snowmen on it. So I'm going to cut one of these guys out. There we go. Make his little stick hands go down. Okay. So I'm going to put the snowman, I'm going to put a snowman in the back. I'm going to kind of feed him behind the snow there. That'll be really cute. Okay, so I'm just going to use a little bit of fast fuse to get him in there. There we go. All right, that's very cute. And then on this one, after I put it together, I realized that this Santa's Workshop pole was just kind of hiding a little bit behind this when you pull it. So I'm going to just make sure that that gets moved out a little bit. And I just realized that the other thing I wanted to show you was how to use the puff paint, which is really cool. And we need to do that before we put our guys on. So what I've done is I have a couple of sets of guys here. I've got the one that's playing ball with the ornament. So maybe we'll put him here. I've got the no peeking guy, and I'm actually going to hide the no peeking part and just have him like kind of popping up here. And maybe what I'll do is I'll put the other guy right here sitting next to the snowman. And then I don't know where I'm going to put the, where am I going to put the Santa sitting? So anyway, so what I did was I cut 2 pieces of this because the guy's actually going to go down too far. And then I can glue this down and put this one on top of him and make him pop up so it will look more 3D. Okay, so we're going to put him here. We're going to use dimensionals for this guy to make him pop. We can put the, oh, you know what we could do here? We could put him up here. We could put our no peeking up there, and then the guy playing with the ornaments right there. Oh, I like that. That's really cute. I like it with that, like that at the top. Okay, so anyway, let me show you what we're going to do for the puff paint. So I'm going to put this guy on first because we're not going to use puff paint on him because he is going to be in the background. So he's sitting on top of the snowdrift against the pole that says Santa's Workshop. Oops. I want to get that straight. Okay. There we go. Got that straight. Okay, and then we're going to use puff paint on these. This is the puff paint. It's really cool. You have to make sure you shake it really well. And then you just squeeze it and let it run and fill in the area. So I'm doing the hat, the brim of the hat, and I'm doing the bottom of the coat on each of these guys. And actually it helps me on this one because I started to color the brim of the hat as if it was there, and then I erased it, so because I realized I was coloring the wrong part. And then we'll do the brim of this guy's hat, which will cover up the mistake that I made with the red. Okay, so a little puff paint goes a very long way. So now I'm going to put these over here. And we'll use the heat gun. And what you'll see is, it's going to take a minute because my heat gun is obviously cold right now, but it will start to puff up. Okay, so now they're all puffy and they've got these cute little, that looks like fur brims. And so this one, I'm going to put some dimensionals behind him. Okay, so we'll do this. And we'll line it up. So now he looks like he's 3D because he's standing out a little bit. So then we're going to put this guy playing with the ornaments in front of the snowman. So I'm also going to use some dimensionals for him. And I am one of those people that uses up all of my dimensionals, so I use the sides. When I have something big that I need a dimensional for, then I pull these sides apart and use those. There we go. And so that's going to go on here like this. And I think what we'll do is I'm going to put the no peeking guy right over here on the side, kind of peeking out. So what I'm going to do is, if you're putting something under a tab like that, you want to make sure that you leave some extra. So I'm going to use the no peeking part. And I'm going to put that here, like so. So there's my finished card. And so this is a 3D diorama. I called it a 3D card. And this is the first one that I did using the other paper. And you can see that I put the elf down here so that he moves when I do that. Okay, I just need to fold it a little bit. So this would fold up and would fit in a regular card. In a regular envelope, sorry, not a card. In a regular envelope. And so that's it. So that's my project for this week. And as I mentioned, check out my online class option. And if you're interested, I have my tutorial that will be going live on Tuesday. Has 3 simple cards. It has a gift card holder, and then it has 3 more complex cards. So there's this diorama, and then there's 2 other cards that I'm sure that you will like, that are really pretty and cute. Last week, if you stopped by, I made this card using a sketch, and this is with the Seaside Spray ink, and I stamped the Winterwoods tree. So what I did was, when I put the card together last week, and actually I can see that it's crooked, I had just put this piece of the First Frost designer paper on the white cardstock, and it just didn't look right. It looked too plain. So I pulled that piece off and I just matted it on a piece of Night of Navy, and that just makes it pop. And I think that makes it look a little bit better. And if I were going to do this card again, I would put one of these stripes here, up here in place of the ribbon, and then I would use the ribbon. I would do 3 stripes of the ribbon down here. So that would be how I would change that card up. But again, that was an example of one of the cards that I designed online with all of you guys watching using a sketch. You know, after it's finished, I'm always like, oh, this will be better. This would be better. So it takes time to design cards. So thank you for stopping by today, and check out my website. And if you're not on my mailing list, go out to my website, stampwithmarilyn.com, and sign up for my newsletter. This is the middle of the 12 weeks of Christmas. So this week, I believe, is week 6. So there's still 6 weeks left to get Christmas ideas each week in your email. I'm sure you will like them because they're all really cute. So thanks again, and have a great night.